Good day to everybody. I'm Dr. Brooks Walker. I will be your, I hate to say teacher since we're doing all this stuff where we're not actually in the classroom, but this is for jazz and American pop music or Music 144D, and for those classes. We begin August 20th. We go through October 14th. It's an 8-week class. Now, it's also an online class, and as an online class, you probably already know that a lot of the work, well, I guess I should say all of the work will be done outside of class. The way this is structured for this class this semester, fall 2020, we will be doing everything online. Now, I wanted to post this little introduction just to let you know how that's going to work. I'll be using Blackboard extensively, and basically this class will break down into 8 weeks, which may be around 6 or 8 what I'm going to consider lessons. Each lesson will cover a specific topic, and with these lessons I'll be posting things on Blackboard for you to use and look at. The syllabus will be posted right after this. And on the syllabus, you'll notice several things. There's some general rules that I talk about. And in that, I talk about how you do the work and when you turn it in, that sort of thing, and how it's graded. If you have any questions, at the top of your syllabus, which by the way I'm looking at, you'll see my name, my phone number, and my email. Now, you can call me with questions. If I don't answer right away, I'll try to get back to you, but you can leave a message. But I'd like for you to email things to me, and I've got my email address there. The only request I'm making is that when you email it, use the name that's given in the college roll. If you go to look at our college class roll, it'll have usually your last name and initial or something like that. It's confusing sometimes because in the past I had a lot of students whose name might be, I don't know, Bruce Sinclair, and all of a sudden they go by Mike and they'll put Mike Sinclair, and I think, well, is there a different person who hadn't enrolled in the class? So try to use the name, or don't try, do use the name that's given to you in the class roll, just for my sake, when you send an email, and put that in your subject line. And I'll see your email address, and I have a lot of those, but a lot of your email addresses are sort of I guess you should say a breakdown of your original name. It's just for the sake of confusion, but that'll be turning in work. Now, in your syllabus, you'll see things like a course description, course objectives. There is no textbook in this class, which you should be very happy about. In lieu of a textbook, I like to use videos. For the first part of this in jazz, I'm going to use a Ken Burns series of videos, which I find to be very, very good, and I think you'll enjoy them. After that, there'll be other videos of artists and samples, and we'll have our lessons. Now, in the course for the work, we're going to be having tests, probably weekly tests attached with each lesson, and the test will be on Blackboard, and what you'll do is you'll take the test and email it to me. This makes the course actually what I think very easy, because with taking the test, it's basically a take-home test. You'll have notes, you'll have PowerPoints, you'll have videos that you can review in taking the test. I will grade your test, and that'll count as 50% of your grade, and then you will have some written work. I'm going to ask you to do 2 artist biographies and a research paper. Now, the artist biographies will be different than the research paper, and that's all spelled out on the syllabus, but I'm just going to give you a heads up that the artist essays will not follow the same format as a formal research paper. All I'm asking is a 1 to 2 page assessment of their biographical information, their musical style, a little bit of their historical significance, contributions they made to jazz. And you don't have to worry about footnotes on the artist essay. Just give me sort of a works cited page of where you had your information. With the research paper, it's a little different. I'll use a more formal formatting and layout of the research paper. You'll have a 5-page type paper, and I've listed 3 topics that I'd like for you to use. And these are pretty broad topics. Now, with this, I'll tell you what they are. Jazz and its relationship to modern pop music. That's one topic. The other is the 3 cities and their jazz. And I'm talking about New Orleans, Chicago, and New York. And then finally, from the Delta Blues to the British invasion is the third topic. Now, 3 topics, you may think, oh, that's a lot of papers on 3 topics. But the last 2, from the 3 cities of jazz and from the Delta Blues and British invasion, if you don't want to do a broad paper on 3 cities, you can choose one of those cities. You could do a paper on New Orleans, which is ripe with information on jazz. You could do it on Chicago, or you could do it on New York. Both have been major centers of jazz and pop development. Same way with from the Delta Blues to the British invasion. If you'd like to focus a paper just on the Delta Blues, you can do that. If you'd prefer to write about the British invasion, you can do that. These are significant things where our American popular music came from. So I explained that on the syllabus here. Like I said, I'm looking at it. But I also give you the option that if there's another topic or subject you'd prefer to do, all I ask is that you run it by me. And then I'll give you permission and say, well, yeah, that would be a good paper. Now, on the paper, you'll also see formatting for the research paper. And then you'll have a rubric on how it's graded. And like I said, the artist papers, I'm very lenient on. The research paper, I'm a little more stringent on the grading. And so I've given you a rubric on what to do and what to look at. And I expect you to follow that formatting. So that's the basic idea there. Now, what do you do? All of this work, like I said, will be listed on Blackboard. As you look at the work, you can access the videos, access music samples, all that will be there. And I say I may because it depends on how things look, but I may try to do a lecture and put it here on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, and it's Dr. L. Brooks Walker 007 at gmail.com, but that's my Gmail address. And if you go onto YouTube, I will be giving you a URL to click onto. So like this introduction today will have its own URL, and you should just be able to click on it or cut and paste it into YouTube, and it'll take you right to this video. So that will be on Blackboard also. If I get some of the lectures that I may do, I'll do the same thing. There will be a URL on Blackboard with the corresponding lesson, and all you'll have to do is cut and paste and put it in, and you'll see that. I think by doing that, we'll get a little more what we might consider sort of FaceTime. You'll see me, but I probably won't get to see you. I do have your pictures on my roll, so I can sort of get an idea who I'm talking to. It's an adaptation that we're forced to make. We're living in a very different time, as you know, and you probably already experienced. The COVID-19 is doing a pretty good job of trying to keep us from doing things. But I think with a little patience and a little cooperation, we can get through this class material, and it would be beneficial to you, and I think enjoyable as well for this 8-week course. And we will overcome our COVID-19 deficiencies. I wish we could be in class and lecture, but I guess I should explain why I opted not to do that. We did have an option to where we could meet half the class at a time and do some partial lectures. But, and this is a little personal note, I have been diagnosed with cancer and I'm going through chemotherapy treatments. Now I'm doing pretty good. I think the cancer itself may be in remission. I'll find out in a month or so. But the doctor has told me that because of the chemotherapy, my immune system is very low. In other words, I'm susceptible to catching anything from dust mites to COVID-19, I guess. So I have, in essence, sort of been doubly enforcing myself to be quarantined, self-quarantined. I don't get out at all. And so I apologize. That's why you're not seeing me in person. But like I said, I wish I could be there. I wish we could sit and interact together. But I still think that the way this course is set up, you're going to experience jazz in a way you've never done it. If you've never been a fan of jazz, I hope you'll come to enjoy it. Most people like jazz after they've heard this. It's all about understanding, and once you've taken the course, I think you're going to understand jazz and even how it relates to popular music and how our own popular music today, some of the reasons we appreciate and like it. Now, a lot of the pop music that we'll be doing is going to focus more on the historical aspect to show where we come from, where we're going. The modern pop music that you listen to today, I'm not going to sit down and try to explain that to you because you already listen to it and you understand the artist and what they're doing. What I would like to explain is how we got to that, from where, as we look at the influence of jazz, the development of pop and rock, the British invasion, blues, things like that. These different genres and how they've all formulated or come together to formulate American popular music, which, by the way, you probably could call that global popular music. But at any rate, that's the goal of our course and what we're going to be looking at. You see this, hope you get an opportunity to see this video, and I'm going to try to contact you by email. If you receive an email from me, the thing I ask you to do is to respond, and that way I'll know that we have a line of communication. If you don't respond, then I'm going to try to contact you via phone or something. But you'll be getting an email from me pretty soon, and in that email I simply will be pointing out that it's reaching out to touch you, and I'd like for you to communicate back. Once we have our line of communication, then I should be able to send you information, you should be able to send me the work, and I'll start posting things on Blackboard actually probably the week prior to our actual class date. Now, one last thing. By posting things on Blackboard, and usually I'll post them in weekly lesson chunks, but occasionally I will put some things in advance because I know some of you will find this to be very easy to be at home, to look at the videos, to read through the PowerPoints, if I do the lecture, to listen to the lecture, and also to do the work and take the test. So a lot of folks can finish this class early. So I will try to post things early. Now, there is no midterm or final exam because each lesson test is weighted the same and they will be averaged together. So you don't have to worry about a comprehensive final exam. The last lesson test will be our basically final exam. And that way, again, by posting these things a little bit ahead of time, and I'll try to do that, you potentially could finish this course before the 8-week time span if you decide to focus on this course. I'm going to imagine that probably a lot of these online courses you'll find that you can do that because you will be the governor of your own time. You won't have to wait till class time, like at 1 o'clock on a Monday or Wednesday and show up. You can focus all of your energy and attention on getting this work and getting it done. Of course, I don't know what it frees you up to do if we're all quarantined. You can just be free to sit at home with nothing to do. But at any rate, I'm going to try to get you materials online so that you can look ahead and work ahead. Now, if you have any other questions, I'm going to post the syllabus pretty soon along with this lecture. So if you've heard this, hopefully you'll be able to see the syllabus and you can contact me. Like I said, my phone number and email are both on the syllabus, so you can contact me. I'm Dr. L. Brooks Walker, and I'm looking forward to going through this experience with you. I've done an online class before, did partially an 8-week and partially one last semester. And I felt like I got to know some of the students because we communicated by email a lot. So maybe we can do that again. But as for now, that's all I wanted to share with you is this brief introduction into jazz and American popular music. Look forward to hearing from you real soon in the future. Thank you and goodbye.